knows the spice controls the universe.
Yeah, it's rich in bubbly goodness.
Do you remember when you lost your passion for this work?
I invited another friend. I hope that's okay. Ah!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And welcome to another episode of the After School Special, where folks that, we can't get to meet them during lunch, you know what? We meet them after school. So for those of you who are a little bit confused with the After School Special, this one is pre-recorded. So on Tuesdays at 5 p.m., that's the live version of the After School Special. And the videos that premiere, those are pre-recorded. So that's to kind of let folks know the difference. So let me bring up my co-host, Fat Steven Seagal. How are you doing?
I'm good. You finally unmuted me. I feel special. It's like being a dominatrix, but without anything happening. So I'm sorry.
I could get my whip out if you want me to.
That will definitely be something I will keep in the back burner for my 2K celebration. Okay. Watch Fat Steven get whipped into shape, literally.
Oh.
How are you on this? It's actually a nice Saturday. It's cool breeze, sunny outside, locking bars everywhere. Canada on lockdown.
Oh God.
Yeah,
man.
I'm still here. Don't get depressed. It's all good.
That's just, when I'm out running around, because I had to kind of check myself a little bit. I was a little tired having to run around from store to store to store to whatever, because it's Mother's Day is tomorrow. So people have lost their collective crap trying to find things. So they're in stores trying to buy up everything. The flowers are overpriced, so I can't, get my cheap stargazer lilies from Trader Joe's because they're all freaking gone. You can't get them there. And they're all like in the stores, poor guys walking around stores like Marshall's or Bath and Body Works or whatever with their kids. They can't figure out what to get for mom for Mother's Day. It's a mess, but I'm glad there's the freedom to do that, because some places there's just not. And yeah, but looking forward to seeing Demon Slayer tonight, so I'm excited.
A lot of people are seeing that Demon and Slayer. Yes,
I am sick.
I can't do it. They won't get it. They won't.
Props to the lady in Hot Topic who reached up there to get this sucker for me.
Was she cute?
Actually, she was. She
Cool.
was. She had a shade of purple hair that was violet that I really liked. It was very cool.
They have a lot of nice stuff there. You can actually get like the vegan-free, pet-free dyes they have in there. They're actually semi-permanent. I used to work there, right? So you can get some of that stuff, and they will last a while. I used to do red when I had the brighter blonde. It was pretty cool, but not anymore, because when I started having anxiety and sweating, like, oh look, I feel like a ketchup packet leaking up the side. Great.
I gotta say, Hot Topic is one of my favorite stores to go to.
It was. As much as people bash it, that's why I like working there over being a network engineer.
Why do people bash that store? Because
they consider it like they got stuff, or they relate it to the South Park stuff, but it has so much pop culture stuff all over the place and band stuff that you can just have fun with it, and that's why I was able to relate to the store.
That's what I don't understand, because I would go, my friends would go, just like, I need so and so and whatever. Okay, I'm gonna go to Hot Topic and go find it. Especially for Disney and Harry Potter and anime stuff, and band stuff, because that's where I went to go try to find a Wu-Tang t-shirt. It wasn't, wasn't there. So I had to order it online. But yeah, ban stuff, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I had to self-ban myself from Hot Topic because I spent too much money.
The only thing we don't carry is Stevie Wonder shirts. It's a sad thing. We don't have any Stevie Wonder shirts at that store. And that was my segue to our guest, who constantly hates me bringing that up.
Wow, I have to find out what that is.
Well, I have the video. We'll actually use that video later if you want.
Okay, cool.
Crikey.
Well, folks, our guest for the hour is none other than Vigilante Williamson. How are you doing?
Vigilante Williamson on the first episode of the After School Special that I've ever appeared on, and I was doing okay until Fat Steven brought up Stevie Wonder, which is this mean thing that he's created. I actually love Stevie Wonder. He's my second favorite artist of all time.
Yeah.
And now what
Google,
he's done.
What is victimizing?
Is associated. No, this is just truth. This is what's happened. What he's done now is mean no matter how far I grow, I can never work with Stevie Wonder. I can never sample his music. I do music too. There's like a shit ton of keyboards. And it's ruined forever. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Fat Steven.
You're welcome. Victimizing and making monetization works hand in hand.
Well, yeah, it's not
from Twitter.
victimizing.
I know.
I hate Twitter. That's the thing.
Everyone hates Twitter.
But like, I haven't used social media in like 7 or 8 years until starting this channel, and it's like, you motherfucker. I don't get I hate Twitter. Let me get on it and see. I'm addicted. Like, no. It sucks. It's terrible. I only use it to contact other humans. Anytime I have to use it for even 5 seconds, it's like, I can't do it. So yeah, that's great. But luckily, the meme hasn't gone. It's gone somewhat far, and this will probably go far, but it's not that big of a deal, unless you guys put it at the end. And then he's also retired me from wearing whatever. Like I had it was actually St. Patrick's Day, I think it was, because I had on green. I'll never wear that outfit or that hat ever again. So thanks, Fat Steven.
No.
What did I do on St. Patrick's Day? You're making me a villain.
You are a villain.
I'm not a villain. I'm a 2D avatar.
Oh man, Twitter is one of those things where I got on Twitter 10 years ago because for me and my friends at work, crap that we didn't feel safe saying, through Microsoft Link or whatever, we'd go on freaking Twitter and say it. But that was back when people weren't getting butthurt and everything about when you put stuff on there. It was, it was pretty fun happening place for a while until corporate American Hollywood discovered it and started pimping it and politics and cluttering it up. It's got to be a pain. It's now, and it's a freaking garbage fire, but they will have to kick me off. I'm not leaving.
I'm going to slightly push back. I don't think Twitter was ever cool. Like Twitter,
really?
Even like when I use social media, I'm like, I hate Twitter. I use Facebook. It's just not like, I don't care what like random people think in just a small. It's just a bunch of people writing the snarkiest thing they could possibly come up with at its best. It's like, I don't get.
I heard you say.
Oh
Facebook.
Wait, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Because I freaking hate.
Sucks too.
I hate Facebook. I hate Facebook because I'm tired of relatives who can't pick up the freaking phone and talk to me, right? But they'll go on Facebook and talk and like poke me and crap like that. I'm like, you can't pick up the freaking phone, but you can go on Facebook. No, I don't think so.
I have no personal social media. Just oh man, I can't.
Do you know how you can be safe from all social media? Well, there's a video I had to share today. I think this is the best way to stay safe. Not only within social media, but in real life too. Can we play that for you, Lorraine? You think it's a good time?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay.
You have to play it as soon as you want.
Okay.
But we found breaking news on how to save yourself from social media. I will play now.
How can you save yourself? Do the words bounce off? Is there like a special force field where when you tweet at it bounces off?
I didn't know echo chambers came with wheels. I really didn't. So like, and she's wearing gloves too. Look what she's carried the cart. She's literally wearing like dishwashing gloves.
Wait.
Right there.
Right there. You know what? These people stay home.
Look at it. Yeah,
Just freaking stay home.
And mental illness is real. And this is mentally ill right here.
You know what the weird part is? If it is airborne and can go through anywhere, your eyes are not. You're not wearing goggles. You should.
Here's the worst part. It has wheels. Any virus is just going to go up under that. That thing is not protected from anything.
No, it's not. Cold air
like
rises.
That little space.
It breathes in cold air, right? Or is it hot air rises? Cold air sinks. My bad. I got it backwards.
Either way, it's not like the virus is going to say, "Oh, it's a plastic sheet. Let me go around the plastic sheet." Really?
Well, don't you know viruses can stop at certain times after a curfew? They just all right. I'm done between 10 p.m. and 5 p.m.
I'm gonna get this off screen because I can't look at it
anymore. I think that ranks up there with the dude who I think he was dressed in garbage bags and duct tape.
I thought that was a Darth Vader cosplay.
I did. Well, I don't know. No, this was actually at Walmart. It wasn't even a good cosplay.
The people of Walmart has been a meme for like 20 years. It's like one of the original memes. Yes. The OG meme before memes were a thing. There's just funny things on the internet. You had the people of Walmart.
You know what? Every time I go to Florida and I have to go to Walmart in Putnam County, I would say, okay, I'm going to Walmart. We'll see if I could get some good pictures of some wall creatures live in color.
Every trip I go to Walmart is like, I'm not that big, but that's the fastest I move. I'm trying to get in, get my shit, and get out. I just hate Walmart. I hate them.
It's just the best thing about Walmart is that drive up service, whatever the frick it is, or a counter pickup, because I don't have to deal with people.
Yeah, counter pickups are cool.
Just to
deal get your stuff and leave.
Get it and leave, because it makes no sense. It's like, what? How many people trying to check out, and you got what?
2 registers. It's like 500. It's literally 500, 700 customers in here. 2 registers will get it done. No, they won't. They absolutely won't.
That's why I tell people I don't go to Walmart. I end up at Walmart for some freaking reason. It doesn't make any sense. But let's get started with the baseline questions. Should be funny. All right. So, what are your memories of lunchtime at school?
Oh man, that's a triggering question. They sucked. Like it was the best part of school, but school was terrible. So it was just like I think of like fights or like awkward interactions with friends who weren't friends. So that's those are the only things I think of with lunchtime at school.
Frenemies,
or nobody at all is who I ate with. And so yeah, lunchtime at school is just like, ugh. Thinking about anything with school is just like, I'm not somebody who really, I was able to graduate, you know what I mean? I actually did good in school up until like 8th and 9th grade. And then afterwards, I just stopped kind of caring. But man, school sucks. So everything in school is just like, ugh. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of fit the if even though I'm not a hero, I'm not a superhero, I'm an anonymous citizen journalist. People get that confused. But anyways, I kind of fit the Peter Parker archetype in school, and not like he gets a bunch of like hot redheads and blondes Peter Parker. I mean like the pushed into the locker Peter Parker. So yeah, school sucked.
Yeah, I remember that because the comics that I would read like for Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, you always got, Peter Parker was not the most popular guy in school. He got picked on, all of that, which is why it was so profound when he got bit by that radioactive spider that all of a sudden, okay, I have these cool superpowers, now, and I can do stuff that other people can't do. And maybe MJ will really look at me now, So it came down to that, but yeah, I get it, because like I told people, I couldn't wait to be done with high school. If I could have burned the place down, that's in my head, okay, so people don't freak out. But it was not. It was like with high school, I was just like, except for maybe the number of people I can fit on one hand, I don't care what the heck happens, y'all. I'm not interested in reunions. Forget that. I'm off to college. I ain't talking to y'all.
I've never been to a reunion. What? Oh man, we're past 15 years. I'm an old. So yeah. And I actually, you know what our 15th year reunion was? 2020. So I don't think it happened.
Oh,
especially not in the communist state of Michigan. I don't think it happened. But high school sucked. So that's the unfortunate answer to that baseline question.
Mm-hmm. No, it's the answer. That's all I'm looking for.
Dude, my high school sucked too, man. I transferred a lot of different schools. One high school, some guys weren't even in our school, were not going to our school, even tried to rob me of my CD player one day, and I took it back.
Sorry about that.
No, no. It ended up them slamming me against lockers to the point where I got carried out, covered in a blanket, out of high school to the hospital, and it was crazy. I'm not going to take. All right. But high school sucks. We're always going to have those moments and days, but we also become better people because of it, because we never want to be that evil. We don't want to get too full of ourselves.
Yeah.
It's two sides of the coin to balance it out.
That's why I have that's why I tell people I have very, very little patience for bullies, because that happened to me in school until that one day where I had freaking had enough. And I don't remember everything, but I wound up, this one girl, she just kept getting on my nerves and threatening me, and the school wouldn't do anything about it. Nothing about it. Till one day I just beat her ass. I can't even tell you what happened that day.
Yeah.
But I just wound up beating her ass, and we're sitting there in the principal's office, and he's like, well, we're going to have to call your parents. I said, go ahead and call my mother, because she's the one who's been calling you, telling you what's been going on, and you haven't done anything. So I can take the hit. But this chick who's been suspended 5 or 6 times, I don't think she can. And he's like, I'm like, oh, good. You're supposed to be calling my mom, right? Right.
Yeah. That's another reason high school sucked. The freaking principals and teachers, they were all trash. And I can imagine how bad they are now that they have to circle back social media, and like most of these teachers are twerking on TikTok or OnlyFans instead of educating our youth. So enjoy that. Sheesh.
Yeah, it's bad, because you have, the teachers who actually do want to teach, and then the administration, is pretty much handcuffing them, at every turn. But yeah, I was glad to be out of high school. I wasn't interested in going back. I've had people try to friend me on Facebook from high school, the frenemies. I'm like, I don't freaking know you.
I was working at Hot Topic, and someone walked in. I didn't even recognize them. They're like, hey, do you remember me? I'm like, no. I'm like, well, I used to be this in school. It's this person. I'm like, oh. And I was like, I just don't care. I'm like, and how are you doing now? I'm like, I'm doing this, and that's cool. You look like how school said you would end up.
Yeah. It's really interesting to find out, in high school, you think, this is going to be my life. My life's going to be over. Then you finally get out of high school. I'm like, you know what? I ain't ever going back there. I can now do the type of stuff that I want to do and be, cool with how I am, and the things, things that I like at college. I could actually go and then have stuff like, yeah, guess what? We're having a Star Trek marathon. You want to hang out? Let me get this straight. You're actually going to be watching Star Trek movies. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm down. And there's people who were cool, with that, but like who they were.
That's cool. I'm glad college was a lot better. That's dope.
Yeah, at least it was for me, but college ain't for everybody.
Yeah, I went to community college. I would have kept going, but I wasn't going to get a student loan, which turned out to be a right decision on that one, to just get into the workforce instead. Which I technically didn't get an associate's because of some BS, but I should have gotten associates actually in communications media, and never got a job in broadcasting, and then just went into a totally different field. And somehow circle back here. So I guess it all works out. It all works out in the end.
Absolutely. There's people who they started out in one thing and ended up in something else. And I think one of the great things about this YouTube medium is you have people who never would have considered doing anything like this, and they get back into it. Even people who were like, I had a journalism degree or broadcasting degree, and I didn't really do anything with it. And then the barrier to entry now is so much lower that all of a sudden you have people like broadcasting, like professionals on YouTube. So that's it. I'm gonna have to ask you the other question before Fat Steven's like, we got to ask me.
I got food. I want to hear about the food. That's going on.
The other question is, so what kind of pizza did you have at lunch in school? Was it square or was it round?
Okay, so I went to a couple different high schools myself. At the first high school I went to, it was actually, both high schools did it. They would get pizza from other places. So the first high school had a Pizza Hut pizza. So it was actual Pizza Hut pizza. And then when I went to the second high school, they would get either Papa John's or Little Caesars.
How'd you get that hooked up?
Awesome in high school. Now in middle school, we had the square like Frozen Boys.
There you go.
But so that's what we got in middle school. But high school, we got hooked up on pizza.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, how did you get the? I didn't. Yeah, another one is square pizza. Fast.
The square. Most of the time it's square meat.
I think he just blamed the kid named Steven in his class. Like, Steven's always mean to me. He's being so mean. Can I just have his pizza? But look, he's not saying anything. So that's true. All right.
Honestly, I kind of couldn't hear you for a little bit.
I think you just picked a kid named Steven in your class and you just made him the villain just so you can get all his pizza too.
No. Yeah. Nobody wanted that square middle school pizza. So it was no like, oh, let's get extra of this. It's like, no.
No, it was just like, where's the chicken nuggets? Or my favorite was the chicken fried patty. So it was like a round,
like a very terrible version of the Chick-fil-A sandwich. It's like the low budget, no budget version of that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it was kind of like there, but
my triangle slices.
Triangle slice. I mean, if it's still the frozen, like a triangle slice, and it's not even
a pizza place. Actually, we had a different up here in Canada. We had pizza days, right? So you get a form, they fill it out. Your parents would give you the money, you give it to the teacher, and when it came, you got the slices and the drink. Yeah.
But no, when we had pizza days, that's not the same as just going to the cafeteria and getting, like I said, at high school, we would get Pizza Hut or or Papa John's or not Domino's, Little Caesars. Those are the different ones we had. So those are actual pieces, but like a pizza day, even in the square terrible pizzas, we would get like, oh, there's pizza day because you guys read enough books or whatever it is, and like, we all got pizza that was actually good. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that square pizza, so they can get rid of all that extra crap they got laying around.
Yeah, it's government subsidized pizza.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get rid of it. Well, our district, our food was catered. I would say when I was in high school, that's when it happened. So I don't know who talked to who or whatever, but around high school, the menu like changed, and we're like, oh, this stuff is actually really good. And they started giving us French bread pizza. I'm like, oh shoot.
Man.
Okay, we're moving up now. But after school, you get it from like the pizza joint.
Yeah,
we're like, we get the real pizza with with the good grease that's on it.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? Shout out to Southfield High School and those lunches, because those are really good lunches with the curly fries. The people who in the early 2000s went to Southfield High School remembers getting like good, and it was pretty solid because pizza is not the best, but it's solid.
Yeah,
Pizza Hut pizza, curly fries. It was dope. It was super dope.
Ow, shoot, that's
cool. Fat so it all works out. Oh, geez. I'm going to be bleeped to death. I'm sorry.
This is the reason why all these bleeps have been dropping in. But no, that's okay. I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh yeah, well, actually it was Fat Steven. That was the first time I had to put the bleeps in. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I'm going to be bleeped to death. I apologize.
That's okay. If they have to bleep people out on Midnight Edge when they do recordings, they can bleep it out here. Oh, but to get back kind of where we were going, we'll bring it back. YouTube. So how did you get into that?
So, okay, I actually, before I did the Vigilante Williamson thing, I did like just a NBA podcast with my brother. We were just doing it, and I actually just would post it on YouTube, edit it and post it on YouTube. That's actually the first thing I did. No, it's not the first thing. I think I did like gaming stuff a few years ago, just playing Tekken and stuff. So that was like the first things I did on YouTube. Tekken, yes. When Tekken 7 came out.
That game was hard. I
like Tekken.
I died a lot.
Yeah, but that's just stuff. But I wasn't like serious. That was like the first few things I did on YouTube. I don't know if they're still on, but it won't be on the Vigilante Williamson. But the idea for Vigilante Williamson is something I had for a few years as like a music thing, because I did music once and quit. But like when I did it under like my regular name, and I'm like, man, I don't want like jobs in real life searching and finding me. Based upon that, so I need to come up with a whole concept. And then I said, you know what? If I'm going to do the anonymous thing, might as well come up with a mask. And I had an idea, but I kind of sat on it. And then 2020 happened. And I was like, man, there was so much crap going on. I just felt like powerless and voiceless. And at the same time, what's the guy? The guy from The Office, he had like a good news YouTube show. He was talking about positive news.
I can't recall his name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He ended up selling it to some company because it was probably the whole point. But that made me think, okay, I want to do stuff on YouTube. And so I'm going to do a positive news podcast. So actually June 30th into July 1st of 2020, that's my first thing. I just did a live stream. It's on my channel still. I'm just talking positive news. I had the mask, but I didn't have the hat on, so you can see the do-rag. It looks terrible, but whatever. It still looks terrible because it's cheap. It's like a $5 mask, a headband, a do-rag, a couple do-rags. So it's not, high tech. Even though I'm getting a mask, hopefully.
Why
so that's
invest in like the Zorro adult mask or like one of the like the Ninja Turtle ones that come.
So what?
Black.
What I'm actually going to do though, I'm getting a company that makes masks like for wrestlers and stuff, and I'm going to get them to make
them. Nice.
Get a like nice quality mask,
luchador style.
So, well, actually, I'm going to have open top so I can put the hat on and kind of still keep that gimmick going. But it's going to be like more quality with that. So it's going to hopefully be based on my logo, which Mando Merck did the logo. Shout out to him. He did.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
But so I started with the good news podcast, and then everything in positive news was so politicized. Like, okay, Jesus, I'm going to talk. I'm so sorry. I curse so much, and you guys gave me the don't curse midstream. I'm like, oh Lord, but so much of positive news. Oh boy, you're not gonna get much. So much in the positive news space was so politicized. Like, okay, I have no choice. I'm gonna just start talking about stuff that's going on, and then I like pop culture, and I start talking about that as well. And I ended up after 4 or 5 months finding a lot of people in the fandom minutes. That's when I found you, and that's when I found Fat Steve. I didn't know all because I've been watching Nerdrotic and a lot of other channels for a while. I didn't realize a lot of those frequent super chatters actually had channels of themselves. And I was like, oh, there's a whole there's an above ground almost fandom, and there's this whole underground where Loki and a lot of other channels that I found, and then I ended up going on one of the member streams. Even though I had been a member, I didn't realize if you raised up a level for Nerdrotic's member streams that you could be on these streams. And then that's how I met a lot of people, and then I started streaming with a lot of different people and meeting people through streams and then streaming with them. And that's kind of been the past 5 or 6 months or whatever it's been since that point. Probably the end of around December, end of the year last year is when I started meeting people and streaming with a bunch of people. And that's been really fun. It's been really cool. So that's kind of my YouTube journey, so to speak.
That's cool, because the funny thing is I was super chatting just because I like making people laugh, and I was memeing and stuff. That's actually how I think the Reina noticed me, and and then eventually this is where I am now. But I never really was pushing my channel until 2020 events started happening. So pretty much it's pushed a lot of people to become content creators, become a single voice in a group of many with the same type of voice, but whether the opinion's similar or different. So it's done a lot of beneficial things as well as negative. So I kind of look at it as like a yin and yang effect, you know?
Yeah, been a lot more. I don't know which one is negative, but it's like 99 yang to 1 yin. I don't know if it's quite as even as the yin yang thing, but
how much you focus on either side.
It's hard not to focus on it. I mean, that's a whole another tangent. But one thing I will say, you mentioned a lot of people being called to action. Another thing that actually was a call, I mentioned Neurotic, but he kept saying, we need other creators, because they're replacing, because you know how targeted, and I think even my channel may be in the doghouse with Susan, but a lot of channels get messed with, and they take channels down, and it depending, I know everybody's not going to agree with everything that certain these channels. I don't, but censorship is never a good thing for discourse.
Oh, absolutely not.
He kept calling other channels. I'm like, I'll start a channel. And so that also was influenced. And that's what like, I'll start a channel and I'll bring in the gimmick that I didn't use from 2 or 3 years ago. And that's where I did with the mask. So that's how I started. That's pretty much it.
That's cool, because I did not set out to do a YouTube channel at all. At all. Because I was just happy just being in the dark council starting crap, which I still do. Yeah. I still do. I missed last week, but yeah, I'll be back this week. So that's just, kind of what I would do. Just in there, just, starting stuff. And then eventually started dropping in on, live streams, because people who would be in the chats were like, hey, why don't we just go ahead and, kind of start a show or start a channel. And then I was on a stream with Neurotic, who would happen to drop in on it. I had a fangirl moment. I'm just like, and am I really on the same panel, with you? And he was really cool. And he was just like, yeah, you should. You really should do a channel. And I'm like, okay. So I go ahead and, kind of like do a channel. But Gary's just been great about shouting out, YouTubers, because he calls he doesn't call them smaller YouTubers. He calls them up and coming YouTubers, which I think is a really, really great term. And, he's always into, helping, up and coming channels get out there and running. Cause like you were saying, it's like, we really do need more of these voices out there.
Yeah. And Gary, I can't thank Gary enough. He shouts me out like a lot, and I'm like shocked by it. And it's even like went on Friday Night Tights with something he heard like on my stream and said, yeah, Vigilante Williamson said this. What was it? The Jon Favreau is Jim Gordon take. And he said it. And I was like, that's crazy to me that he first off watched my stream. Like he went on the member stream.
Everyone.
He clicked sub.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he actually like, oh no, I'm watching your stuff. So I'm like, holy smoke.
You want it?
Yeah, go ahead, Stephen.
You want to hear something messed up? When we were actually doing a live show with Mary Mayhem, we were talking about something about neurotic stuff, and he trolled me in the most utmost fashion. As we were talking, and I was saying how much I like him, how he inspires me, all of a sudden I get a notification on Twitter. Neurotic is now following you, and all you hear is me standing up going, oh shit, hit the desk.
He
went fanboy. Yeah.
He fanboyed out completely. We're like, what take is oh my god. Neurotic just followed me. And I had to laugh, because when he followed me on Twitter, I pretty much did the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't know who's following me on Twitter.
I'm like, who, of all people, why the heck does he follow me? And I think on his show, either was on Friday Night Tights or another one of his live streams, where he says, I was listening to interview with Eris of Chaos that Reina was doing on her channel. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. That's awesome.
He's
awesome.
He's really awesome, and he's one of those people where, but the way that he helps other channels, it's like that's the kind of thing that I like to try and try and do too, because Fat Steven was in the chats, and because people would like look forward to seeing him when he would show up, just cracking people up, and he's just like, you need an assistant. I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. You want a job? And he's like, yeah. And that's pretty much, how it's how it's been from, it's been from now on. So I'm so glad he freaking hit 1K. I'm so excited.
Yeah, congrats, man. Congrats. Even though I know this will be in the future, so you'll be like at 2K by the time everyone hears this. But like,
no, I doubt that. I don't have enough cupcakes to pay everyone off.
Let's see.
But no, it's fun, man. And trying to find your groove is a hard thing, right? Like gaming for me is fun, and I'm starting to see more people having fun, more people actually downloading a game they hate so much and participating, and it's a different experience. So it's always fun, man. You have your own way too, and you're starting to get more and more viewers as you start sharing yourself more honestly with the things that you want to talk about. So I think you're doing it as well.
Yeah, that finding my own thing is like that's kind of where I'm at now because I did the thing with doing so many live streams with so many other people, and like I have a full-time job. Like I realize I'm like I only have so many hours to do things. Even if I think I don't, I do. I think I have more time. I don't. So I have to be more economical with how many streams that I do. Like one of the streams, one of the many creators that's helped me out. Shout out to Culture Casino, and I was doing Culture. Shout out to Culture Casino. I love doing his Sunday. As much crap as I give him, I love doing the Sunday culture reviews. But there's no way I'll ever be able to do like as many as I used to because I can't. You know what I mean? I just don't have that time, and I wish I did. And at that same time, I need to like figure out why does anyone want to watch a Vigilante Williamson video? I think my live streams people really enjoy, which is really cool. But my videos kind of suck, and I'm trying to like change that. So that's the current thing that I'm trying to fix.
Do you think is it because you're being critical of it, or do you think it's because the view count isn't what you want it to be?
Both. I would say both. I would say the view count, I'm trying to like there's times where I go and I'm like, okay, I don't care about the view count, just do something, right? And then there's other times, and I'm sorry to anyone who's watching this who's like, because I know when as a fan, you get tired of YouTubers complaining about YouTube. It's like, oh my God, the algorithm feels. So I apologize to anybody who's watching this who doesn't want to hear that, the inside baseball, so to speak. But the view count sometimes can be discouraging. Like I just did as of this recording, a video on Zack Snyder talking crap again about the fans being easy targets and stuff like that. And I did a video on it, and I did it in a live stream. Spent up all night editing the video, trying to edit it into it, a clip that's more, instead of a 2-hour live stream, here's a clip, and it did okay. But it's like, man, I thought this would do more. I still don't have a video that's ever hit 1,000, and that's almost where I don't want to have 1,000 subs if I can't get 1,000 people to watch a video, because I don't want artificial subs. I don't want people who are just like, oh, this is nice. My favorite YouTuber told me to sub to you, so I'll sub to you, but I'm not going to watch your content because it's not that good to me. I'd rather make something that's good and engaging and that people want to watch. So even in the chat, even if you're watching this, as much as I would love and want everybody here to sub, I want everybody to actually be getting something from my content. So if you sub, you watch a few streams or a video, and you're like, you know what, I'm not feeling the guy. It's okay to unsub, because I don't want to waste some. As a viewer of YouTube, I see a bunch of like fluff and crap that I have to skip through. I don't want to be something else that's being skipped through with somebody's feed. I'd rather be something like, oh, a Vigilante Williamson video came up. Let's see what he has to say. So that's on me to get better. So I'd rather you say, yeah, I don't like you, so I can get better. So that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing.
I kind of, I get you. And I kind of tell people, put the content out there that you would want to see. And the reason why I say that is because if you're putting out there content that you would want to see, you get the people naturally that will organically gravitate to you. Because if YouTube is any example, there seems to be an audience for like flipping everything. That's out there. And I'm forgetting the YouTuber that I saw. He's pretty huge. he's like a cross between political and Fandom Menace, the Saudi cracker. Because I had actually went back and I'd watched one of his videos that's on his wife's channel, the backup channel, and it's called, I think, like The Birth of the Salty Cracker. And he was saying that how when you do videos, it's like you have to be as happy with getting, like, say, 10 views than you would like in a video that's gotten 1,000 or like 2,000 views. I know for me, a video I put out last year just introducing my channel, that just hit 1,000 maybe last month. And then my 1,000 subscriber stream, that hit 1,000 in a day. Yeah. And then the live stream that that we did with Az, that hit 4,000 in 48 hours.
Yeah.
But those are kind of like outliers. So it's like I put out a video late last night regarding Disney World finally announcing they're going to have a Halloween parties. But, you know, I said, hey, this is kind of what the real deal is about. And that hit 80 views, which was, you know, okay. But I mostly do that. Mostly do that for me. Because I tell people when I talk about theme parks or I talk about Disney World, I'm completely real about it. I'm not doing any pixie dust. I'm telling you, this is what's up. This is worth it. This isn't worth it. But, you know, at the end of the day, you can figure out what it is that you want. So there's going to be an audience out there who wants to be told all good things about Disney, and they probably won't watch my video, which is cool. But the people who were just like, okay, I want you to give it to me straight. If I have to freaking deal with this mouse, what do I need to know? Those are the kind of people that I want to cater to. So it's like you were saying, it's like I would rather that you sub because you like my stuff. Yeah. You know, and if you decide you don't like it later on, you want to unsub, that's fine. But it's the people who, you being who you are, that's naturally going to pull your audience in. Yeah. This is what I think.
In a comment, like I didn't even realize until like finding your channel and like Clownfish, like I didn't realize there was a Disney culture, like a Disney thing.
Lord,
I had no clue. I felt like I just it's like I didn't realize there were so many like you talk about the pixie dusters and that. It's like this is a whole world.
Disney's great.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with. I tell people, if you think things are crazy with like Star Wars and the Fandom Menace on Twitter, Twitter is that to a factor of freaking 10. Like if I post on Twitter, I was in the parks today and, why is there trash all over the place? This trash is supposed to be clean. You're being negative about the parks. I'm like, no, I'm being real about the parks. Quit sniffing the pixie dust, thinking everything is great. But it is this crazy Disney subculture, that's there. Yeah, exactly. There's the culture, and then there's the cult of a Disney, which I don't get along with, and I'm always bumping up against these people all the time with it. But it is, and it's out there, and it's insidious. It's like there's fans, and then there's the Disney cultists, which I have fun messing with it. Yeah, exactly.
We're the toxic ones for pointing basic things out.
Oh yeah. Even if you point stuff out, like, I don't see why you should have to, change Pirates of the Caribbean.
Are they changing Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, they've been done it. It's been done in a series of steps. That's why I tell people this stuff with Disney gradually doing stuff with Star Wars. It's not the first time that they've dismantled a product. With Pirates of the Caribbean, because there used to be a scene, because pirates are not nice guys, where they were chasing women around the town. So the scene where the pirates were chasing women throughout the house, and all of that. And then there was the one scene where the matron with the broom was chasing one of the pirates. So that was kind of like the funny part to balance that part out. Well, people got a bug up their ass about that. So they
Oh,
changed it. So they changed it. So now that the women were chasing the pirates with like, you know, your rolling pin or whatever. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing is they had the one that says, you know, the sign, you know, take a wench for a bride. And they had like all the ugly chicks chained up. And then they had the pretty redhead that was out there and she was showing her leg. And they're trying to sell the ugly big chick. And the pirates are yelling, we want the redhead, you know?
Well, redheads are like evil in modern culture. You can't show them anymore, apparently.
No.
So on top of that, and then, you know, no disrespect, but like fat ugly chicks is Twitter, so like you can't, they're going to be offended when they're made fun of.
Oh yeah, that's I find it interesting.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh wow, thanks Illuminati. Appreciate
Siri, I did not
in.
freaking talk to you. All right, God, nosy. Yeah, no, they're always listening. They're always listening. But it's true. It's true. It's like all of a sudden, you know, pretty women, or I'll say, even if you are pretty and are heavyset, they still hate you. They still hate you, you know, and God forbid if you lose weight, like say Rebel Wilson or something like that, they act like something, you know, like something's wrong with you.
How dare you want to be healthy?
No. Exactly. But that's what Disney had been doing. So they changed that scene. So now the redhead is like a pirate now, which they could have gotten female pirate from history and did that. That's actually out there, but they didn't. They didn't go for that. Yeah. So it's and they basically to the point where the Pirates of the Caribbean is no longer the fun non-PC ride that it used to be about, you know, pirates burning down stuff and just pretty much just, you know, being pirates. Now it's, you know, PC Pirates of the Caribbean. No one wants to do that.
The PC Pirates of the Caribbean. The PC Pirates need to go. They're ruining everything. You can't have any fun with anything ever again.
No, you can't.
Speaking of redheads, I'm not sure if you guys want to talk about it again. I know this is being recorded. This won't be as timely when it's played as it is now, but the J. Scott Campbell thing where Mary Jane, he draws it as that kind of famous or relatively famous recent Mary Jane cover. Somebody fixed it.
They made her into a flat board.
Hold on a second. It is.
I like
I'm going to bring up the article from our friends at Bounding in the Comics.
I wanted to add something. I wanted to add something quickly that when you guys were talking about views and stuff. It's hard nailing those things, and I think my first big one was that car driving by, and then when we covered the Gina Carano, you remember that night? I was like, I think I'm going to do a stream about the Gina Carano Shapiro interview, and that was a stream I didn't expect. It went up to 6K views, made over 430 people in my chat. Wow. I would never expected that. And it's like when you hit your one thing, you'll figure out where.
Whoa! They removed.
They made her flat. They made her flat.
No. Go back up to the hammer. They removed the clownfish thumbnail?
Yes. This is what happened. So ClownfishTV had put the thumbnail, because this is where I first heard about the Mary Jane cover. This is when I first heard about, you know, what had happened. So they had put up a thumbnail, because I remember seeing this, because when I saw this art, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. And then the redo that they did to the right was like ridiculous. I'm like, that's stupid. I don't, you know, what are they pissed about? So when they put that on their thumbnail, like the two side by sides, YouTube took it down, saying that it violated nudity and sexual content.
You know what? Now that I think, I've got hit for that before. I had a cosplayer as Chun-Li, and they took me down for that. They took down my stream twice for that. It sucked.
I used when I used this avatar, I'll show it quick with the goatee quick. They took that down because it was in the thumbnail, and they were like, "That's." Like, I was like, "It's parody." I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Naked yoga is okay. So
naked yoga is okay, and but for real, CJ, shout out to CJ Fandom Menace, who does my thumbnails. Literally, he's like, because when I have him do like my Queen's Council thumbnails, he's like, we got to be, you know, I have to put it together so, you know, the YouTube folks won't hit it for like nudity or sexual content or whatever, because he does the thumbnails for the full Aussie. So if anybody knows, he knows. Their thumbnails are pretty racy, but yeah, he has to do it to get around the censor. So eventually, Clownfish TV re-uploaded it, but they put like I think like a Twitter bird or something like that around her cleavage, and then YouTube was, they were okay with it, but we're just like, what were you talking about? But yeah, this was the original art, which I had no problem with, because I used to read the comic book. So I'm like, what's the problem?
Men are not supposed to be attracted to anything ever. So if ever you do anything that a man might be attracted to, it's therefore patriarchal. And I wish I was joking, but judging by the behavior, that seems to be the issue, because she has cleavage and men like boobs, therefore it's
She's also
bad.
a redhead. She's also
that
redhead,
too.
Right? So they're trying to wipe out redhead.
That too.
Which
like nobody sits in that pose. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, just the way they're going at it is like, oh, a cartoon cover offends you. Well, then you know what you do? You change your webpage. Don't look at it. It's like you don't have to fix it. You're not fixing anything. You're adapting it because you want to make it yours.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why is because they're offended that, one, they can never be this, or two, aren't comfortable with who they are.
Yes.
That's it in a nutshell. Because if they were any kind, we'll put it this way, if they were any kind of real comics fan, especially from back in the day, this art doesn't freaking bother you.
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you, because I have like tons of, comic art like from the 80s that I absolutely love. And you see the stuff that's, today, and it's just like, why do you want to make her look androgynous or make her look ugly or, make her look frumpy? It's just like, you can't have an attractive woman. It's like, yeah, the dimensions might, the dimensions don't look like, say, in reality, but this is not reality we're talking about. We're talking about comics. If you ever see the men in the comics, okay, how jacked they are with like 12 packs instead of like
Cyclops in X-Men. He doesn't even have strength-based superpowers. He's like incredibly jacked for no reason. I've never seen him train one day. Why is he so jacked? Just as how he is. So like nobody says anything, and even then, like she's kind of pushing her boobs up a little, accidentally for her, but just for us. That's why I was drawn that way. Yeah. But yeah, so it's not entirely unreal or unattainable for some.
No,
there are women that are built like that. And again, WAP is fine. We can, you can show the Cardi B WAP video on YouTube. Exactly. No issues. Get naked yoga, no issues. But something like this triggers their policy. That's insane.
I don't get it, because go ahead, Steve.
What I also don't get is, how can a comic book rendition of a character done by an artist affect you in such a way where you have to claim it as, here, I'm going to share this, as fixed, when literally you have hundreds of cosplayers who go out of the way to reenact that because they love the art so much. Here, hopefully I got the right rendition.
Well, I can give you somewhat of an answer to that.
Look,
there's some cosplayers, okay? They don't like the cosplayers.
They don't.
I know
Japan is fighting.
Yeah, they do not like the cosplayers. You go out there, like I wasn't even really trying to cosplay. I just had something on that was reminiscent of Sailor Moon when I was at Dragon Con one year. And I'm getting stopped for people to take pictures with you. Cosplayers are almost as popular as the guests that they'll have at conventions because they put so much time and patience and
cosplayers are part
love.
of the convention.
They are, into all. For example, Yaya Han, who This chick makes so much money off her daggone patterns and fabrics because I've seen some of her fabrics for for cosplaying and all of that. Yeah, that takes a lot of work and a lot of discipline to do. It's because I only did it like once or twice, and I'm like, holy crap, how do y'all do this all the time?
And it doesn't look cheap to get all these costumes and all this other stuff.
No,
it is not, especially her fabrics. I'll tell you this right now, because the stretchy fabric that she has for a cat suit that's like black and stretchy, that stuff is about $20 a yard.
Ooh. Look at that. Look at her Queen of Hearts. Like, you can't tell me.
Look at that. Look at the detail on that with the type of fabric and the trim that she has on there. But this takes so much work and discipline to do. And I think most of the people that wind up hating on cosplayers and stuff like this because they don't have the discipline and the patience to do this stuff.
Agreed. That's the origin of a lot of hate.
Or the self-confidence.
That's it too.
It's self-confidence. It's like, oh, that woman's chest is bigger than mine. I'm used as a rendition. Who cares? Every human body type is built differently. You work with what you have, and you cosplay with what you want to cosplay. If you're too insecure to cosplay, that's your fault. That is your issues, not the people around you. You don't get to blame others for your insecurity unless they're coming at you. And guess what? The comic book cover is not coming after you. It's a piece of paper. It's not going to be like, oh, ugly. You can't do me. It's not happening. You can't fix something that's not broken when it's a literal piece of art.
That's the culture, though. The culture is if somebody does something better than me, I have to bring them down to my level instead of saying, you know what's good about me that I can explore and get better at. You know what I mean? What do I have to offer? Everybody is not supposed to be a cosplayer. Maybe you're supposed to be something else. Not to and you know something else about cosplay, not to pivot too much. Why can't we get this quality costumes out of Hollywood? Because I mean, sometimes we do. Sometimes we absolutely do. Other times we absolutely do not.
I think it's because at one time, costuming in Hollywood was truly an art form. Like if you got the Oscar for costuming, that was a big freaking deal. When you got that, there was so much artistry and passion and work being put into that. It takes a lot of work. Like, for example, you can't say put together costuming for, I don't know, we'll say like Tudor England without having to do a bunch of work and research into what those fashions were like and everything from what was on the bottom to all the layers that could put on to what types of outfits that they wore. Like a friend of mine who I'd shown her pictures because in St. Augustine, they'll recreate like the Spanish arriving in St. Augustine. And I showed her a picture and she said, what is this one lady doing with an English outfit on instead of Spanish? I said, what? She said, yeah, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. And I'm like, I would not have known that at all. And I think that's where Hollywood is right now. They just they throw that stuff out there. They don't pay attention. But cosplayers, because they have so much love for the lore and all of that, they make sure that their stuff is on point. Like here with Baroness.
Yeah.
Everything is on point. I know cosplayers that will watch like episodes and movies over and over and over again, will stop things, take pictures, take notes, even with how the costuming moves, depending on what actions are being done. They make notes of all of that. And they put that kind of work and passion into this, that's why they're so good at it. Hollywood doesn't care now. They're just like, we'll just get whatever and hire this one person and just throw stuff up there. Throw stuff up there and do that. Because speaking of cosplaying, I forget which stream I was on. I'm not sure too much, but this is actually kind of funny. I love Yaya Hondo.
I was this many days old when I found out she existed. So
really?
Awesome. Yeah.
I hadn't heard of her until I went to a convention and I just happened to drop in a cosplay panel just to find out information about it, and her name got dropped. And I happened to go to a fabric store and saw she had freaking patterns. And like I said, the best stretchy fabric for a cat suit. I said, shoot, I'm gonna have to get that. But yeah, she is killing it. But I was on this stream and this one cosplayer was on, and she was showing her cosplay from like Wonder Woman, the movie.
Yeah.
And she's showing pictures. She has herself up with like all of her outfits and stuff on. Do you know that stream got taken down?
Wow.
Because it looked that it looked like it was so good. It looked like the costuming from the movie. I couldn't freaking believe it.
Man.
I said, as a cosplayer, it's her stuff. It's her pictures. Yeah, they took that stream down.
Man, it's that's got to pivot. Something recent that happened to me with copyright strikes. I got a copyright strike from the wrestling company AEW for making fun of stupid shit they did. Like, I made fun. They had this really terrible entrance. This girl comes out and she's singing stupid, so I made fun of it. Right. And the video that I used to make fun of it is still up, but my video is got clipped. And apparently they did it to a lot of people. Anyone who criticizes them, they try to copyright strike them. But I'm gonna fight back. So yeah,
fight back. Criticism is not harassment.
Yeah,
if you want to go online, you're going to get both sides of a coin, and I'm tired of it. Like that. Yeah. Honestly, this stemmed a lot from the Susie Lou stuff that happened back in the day. I'm sorry to use the name like that, but she was the one that was playing real full anime episodes online at a faded thing, but she was hardly ever reacting to it, and she hid those behind Patreon, and it caused a whole YouTube nut jobbery across the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this goes back to
her.
Zombie Kills is the same type too.
Yeah. That's Lord, that's another nut freaking job too. But yeah, some people who can't. It's like they hate the fact that there are these platforms out there where somebody with, and I love using Jeremy's term, a $75 webcam can get online and get their voice out there, and they hate that that's out there, so they'll try to copyright strike you, like the whole thing that happened with Naughty Dog.
And that's actually AEW is doing the same thing. Apparently they hit people who didn't even have footage just who talk bad about them. They're doing the same Naughty Dog thing, but it's not as getting this, especially in this space, it's not a wrestling. I'm not a wrestling channel. I just made fun of one freaking thing. But they're apparently doing a similar thing. So anytime someone brings that up, I say that because it's like it makes me angry. It really makes me angry. But a company I used to like a couple years ago, but whatever.
Something I want to say, even the WWE, because I forget. Somebody was telling me it's like they were just claiming freaking anything, even if it was less than 9 seconds. They were just claiming it and just they were just like, screw it, I don't use them anymore.
Well, let's look at what do you call it? Last of Us 2 last year, the same thing. Druckmann, Russo, they got to the point where they stroked down Sony's own trailer because they weren't paying.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm like, look at this clown show that's going on. But one last point to go back to, that J. Scott Campbell art. So I know this had gotten my attention from that Umbrella guy, where he said, here's why I cannot stand and will not help mainstream comic pros anymore. They'll turn on you in a heartbeat, repeating lies by the very people trying to cancel them. And apparently cancel culture is only bad when it happens to them.
Yeah. So to kind of bring anyone else up to speed. So basically, like we said, we had the cover, and then there was somebody who fixed it, and then J. Scott Campbell fixed that. He was trying to say, hey, you can't draw. So he was nicer than that. But here are the technical issues with what you had. And apparently people came back to him like, oh, you're enabling Comicsgate. And you're enabling a bunch of ists and phobes. And then he responded with this like diatribe about how, he's not affiliate. I didn't read through it because when I see that much text and it's about nonsense, I just check out. Yeah. But I saw that, he doesn't something about ist and something about Comicsgate. Actually, I got it up and I put this in. Let me see. But yeah, it's
BS.
It's BS.
It's cowardly. If you can't stand by your art, you can't stand by anything. If you think a whole bunch of people, the 2% reading and causing accusations, you're not listening to the whole picture. You're listening to the people that you think could jeopardize your art. and they proved it when he came back at them saying, this is what's wrong with your art that you're trying to fix with my art. And then you got accused of stuff, and you're trying to say you're not part of this. That was not the case. It was the fact that they're trying to change your work to make them feel safe. Safety doesn't happen everywhere.
And it's like I tell people repeatedly, your self-esteem is not someone else's problem.
No.
And they always act as if, it is. If you want to see a bunch of SJWs start, their heads start twirling around and spewing vomit and everything, I drop that line on them, they freaking lose it.
Yeah, your self-esteem is not anyone's no one else's problem. And again, a lot of people need to just get right within themselves and accept where they are in life and try to get better. I heard something recently, and he said, will you be able to accept being the best garbage man on earth? And basically saying, hey, if you're a sanitation worker, you can make 100, 150,000, be the best person on earth, but it's a lowly place, and you can still have everything you want in life, but can you accept that? And I thought that was a very interesting thing. Like, can you accept just being where you are at life and being the best at whatever that is? And a lot of people can't. And a lot of people have to project. That's why we talk about the craziness on Twitter. I think about the shippers who, like, if you go at them, we know about the Raylos. If you go at them and you go after this passion, because for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on in their own personal lives with regard to love, but these two fictional characters have to get together. So I have to, kill Adam Driver's wife, allegedly, so they can get together.
Her and all that crap.
And it's like that same, my life isn't good. There's something wrong with me, and I have to project it in the world because this thing gives me that. And it's like, that's toxic fans. You know what I mean? That's toxic fandom, but that never gets called out. And that's sick. And just like with J. Scott Campbell, a lot of the people who are trying to cancel him are the same people he's trying to gain favor from. And Tug, even though he's that vigilante guy, copyright infringement, I'm striking you, Tug. No, I love Tug. I love Tug.
He's awesome.
But he's right. We have to just, you know what? Separating the art from the artist has to go both ways. It's like, if you like something someone does as an artist, that's fine. But don't be so quick to defend them and fight for them, because they're not going to fight for you. Because everybody, when it comes to the art, comics, book, Hollywood, the whole entertainment spectrum that we enjoy, we have to just take what we can get from it and leave the rest, because they don't care about us. They just care about that next job, or to make sure they're still in the in crowd, or make sure they're still liked by whatever industry they're in. So he's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't put these people, on a pedestal.
Yeah.
You just, you can't, you can't do it. They, at the end of the day, they really don't owe you anything.
No.
Well,
at all.
They can't even draw themselves a pedestal in this case to think that they have the right to talk down or say they're not this or that. And it's stupid. Why would you go out of your way to say they're this, and that, when nothing's been proven that the istphobe and isms or even exist? It's all people who are just trying to divide, make sides, and point out an enemy, because the enemy whose logic is the ones defeating their stupidity.
And that's what pissed me off. When he's like, oh, I forget which one further down, where he said, oh, he'd heard that, they were against diversity and inclusion. And I'm like, oh, so you're going on some crap that you heard. Okay. You just completely lost any kind of credibility with me. You should have just left that out of your mouth and left it at that.
You know what it sounds like? He went on, he saw the first Rewriting Ripley article ever and just read that, and then he read another one from probably the Mary Sue and went, wow, those people are bad. Except I don't think for myself no more, because the 2% that complaining, guess what? You're not going to pay for your stuff.
No, and they're not comics fans. They're just out there to complain because it's a day that ends in Y. Because if they had any kind of love for the comics or whatever, they wouldn't be raising this kind of freaking stink.
And here's the thing I don't get from J. Scott's perspective. What's wrong with not feeding either beast? What's wrong? And Gary has said this a lot of times. You don't always have to listen to us. Just don't listen to them. What's wrong with saying with not writing this like hour-long diatribe about how you're not a part of Comicsgate. You should have just said, I fixed the I gave artists perspective on fixing a picture, fixing my art, and say nothing else. It's okay to not listen. Everyone on social media.
That wasn't him writing it. That's a publicist writing it.
Probably. But still, it's okay with not tweeting. No answer is a good answer as well.
But here's
72 hours, no one will remember this.
They want to get invited to all the parties.
Yep.
They want to be in the in crowd. They want to be in that access media. That's where they want to be. So they have to say and do all the right things. The people that aren't bothered or care to deal with all of that, they won't say anything. They won't say anything. They won't say anything, or basically say, it is what it is, take a hike and leave, and leave it at that. But he's one of those guys who he still wants to be in that in crowd, and he doesn't want to leave it.
Do you know what's going to happen though? He's now going to notice a dip in the sales of his old comics.
Yep. Oh yeah.
He just financially bankrupted his legacy because he had to signal to those 4 to 5%. And guess what? Marvel's already in a hole. Why would you put yourself both for Marvel and DC?
Go woke, go broke.
And last thing,
woke, become a joke. That's what it comes to people.
And when it comes to Marvel, a lot of those editors are not well. A lot of people who actually work for Marvel, they are not well paid at all. Like, they're not making any money. That's why they're so angry.
Look at the latest Captain America, the Kickapoo, or however it's pronounced. Like, there's a prime example. You're literally going, what? Are you going to make a sexy native Captain America and balance it out? No.
Here's my thing with that. Anybody who's ever seen, and I forget the name of the guy in the comics, but anybody who's ever seen native comic book heroes portrayed, that art was not as freaking messed up and cheesy as what they put out there.
Look
that
at
was
a Mortal Kombat.
That's what I thought. Thunderwolf. Yeah.
Thunderwolf. Sorry, it was Timberwolf. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what was the other one? Apache Chief.
Or Apache Chief. I have to get Nighthawk. He's in one. I can't remember what game he's in.
Nighthawk was the one Mortal Kombat, I think.
Is Nighthawk? Yeah, somebody. There's a Thunderwolf is Street Fighter.
Yeah,
they each had a Native American. Apache Chief is Super Friends, I believe.
Yeah,
Super
exactly. It's just like it just looks. There's no passion. There's no craft. It just looks like you threw something up there, and it just didn't freaking work. So yeah, I don't feel bad for Marvel or DC. I feel bad for some of the people who have to work with this stuff, but they're hiring the people who they want, to put this stuff out. And there's people, doing independent comics who do a much better job.
Yeah.
A much better job.
That's why we have such a rise of independent comics creator. Like, as much as they make fun of Comicsgate, that Comicsgate has laid the blueprint for independent entertainment in general, and I think that will be the blueprint.
Alternative Comics is a perfect example. Look at Peter Smetty.
They're another one.
Comics. Yeah, and honestly, the fact that they have to go down the road of name calling and accusations proves one thing: they're scared. They are not winning if there's even a winning side, and they will do whatever it takes. But that's what the difference between them and, let's say, Comicsgate. Comicsgate is yelling names back and attacking them like this. They're proving that they have diversity, they have talent, they have original, independent thought and creation. And that's what scares them. Freedom of thought.
Yeah. That's why I think the last 3 comic purchases that I made were all Comicsgate. And I haven't been purchasing comics in a long time, but I've been getting back to that. But folks, we're going to bring this segment to a close. So folks, please do subscribe to Vigilante Williamson over here on YouTube. Of course, he is also, let me take up here real quick.
Yeah,
he is
on the Twitter.
Yep, over here on the Twitter. The Twitterverse is right there. To
be fair, and this is probably bad, I am the worst follower on Twitter because I only use it to contact people. And I know I'm not supposed to say that. The only purpose of, well, here's why you should follow me. Because YouTube is probably not going to give you a notification if you do sub.
No.
So that's why you should follow me, so you can actually see the content I make. And also, you know, because I do a show with Matt from Fireball Productions, and it's a Inquisition X show where we alternate channels. I have to plug that show next week, this is all in the past. So on my channel, there will be a show with me, Matt, and Tom. And on Matt's channel, 519, me, Matt, and Chrissy Meyer. And I hope I don't mispronounce her name because she's a guest and she is on a show. So don't check out those shows, even though, again, one is on my channel, Vigilante Williamson, the other one, Fireball Productions. Check out those shows as well because I do a show with him each week, Wednesday at 6 p.m., the Culture Crime Fighters. So I have to plug that as well. And then I do the Vigilante Williamson show on Thursdays between 7 and 8 until I go whenever. And I usually do a pop-up show on either Monday or Tuesday when I have time. So I try to do two. So yeah. So please check out my channel. Also, I'm starting to upload more videos. Hopefully I'll have a lot more videos than what you see uploaded by the time you actually see this broadcast. I appreciate you having me. It was an honor and a privilege. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. No problem. The pleasure is all yours. Like I said, I've seen you in the chats, you know, on my channel and other channels and all of that. So one of the reasons that I have this show is to like reach out and, you know, find independent creators, you know, like you, bring them on so folks can find out more about you, what you have going on, you know, kind of network and make those connections. So not a problem, not a problem. You ever want to come back on, you know, just ping us definitely. And let us, you know, ping us and let us know.
Yeah, but unless making me a villain though, that's not gonna happen.
I don't know, man. I think you made yourself the villain, but you're at least an anti-hero. You're in the anti-hero, anti-villain space. You're not pure villain. You're like, you know, in the middle.
I don't think I'm a villain. I just think I'd rather have fun, make jokes when I can. If it gets someone to laugh and forget about whatever the hell's going on in serious moments, then I've done my job.
I think you're a slight little villain, a little bit of villain.
Nice try. It's not going to work. You're sounding like EA talking about surprise mechanics right now. It ain't working.
Surprise mechanics.
Well, folks, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Vigilante Williamson, for joining us. So please do subscribe to his channel. Links to his social media and YouTube site are in the video description. And we will catch you next time.
All right. Bye. Peace, everybody. Bye.